You also have a limited block of hotel rooms to do that with. Business will include appointing new members to current vacancies, an endorsement in the race for president, reports from subcommittee chairmen, resolutions, finance reporting, and any other business that may appropriately come before the committee. Please RSVP Cameron Sagister to indicate you'll be able to attend, whether you'll be attending virtually or in person. For those members who would like to use their one-time virtual appearance for this meeting, call-in information will be provided to you individually. Thank you for your service to our party. I look forward to seeing you at the meeting on December 1st, 2023. Signed, Alex Trent, to be the chair. I'll call the roll. I'm first and I'm here. Gina Campbell. Here. Josh Felder. Here. Lisa Cresciano. Here. Jim Burgess Sr. Here. Joanne Davidson. Gary Cates. Here. Debbie Lang. Steve Bruns. Here. Jessica Franz. Arthur McGuire. Here. Judy Westbrook. Here. Ron Magg. Here. Michelle Schneider. Here. Alex Transfield. Here. Orlando Sumson. Here. Lauren Bowen. Here. Steve Austria. Here. Laura Rosenberg. Here. Mark Wagner. Here. Donna Owens. Here. Keith Cheney. Here. Stephanie Kramer. A brief pause for technical difficulties. Mike Whitty. Here. Gloria Kirker. Here. Frank Reed. Penny Martin. Here. Josh Brown. Here. Michelle Anderson. David Glass is here, right here, saw him later. Bonnie Ward, Dan Carter, Denise Rude, Gary James, Melanie Lennon, Jake Warner, Joe Miller,
Yeah, I'm here.
Lucy Stickett, Bill Heck, Zoe Romanchuk, Brian Andrews, Doris Peters, Shannon Burns, Melanie Mason, Ron O'Brien, Susie O'Brien, Jonathan Zucker, present. Lisa Cooper, Brian Williams, Debbie Carr, Mike Berger, Barry O'Toole, Kurt Braden, Christy Marr, Jim Carnes, Leanne Johnson. Here. Doug Wills. Here. Antonia Blake. Here. Randy Law. Here. Melissa Pope. Here. Dave Johnson. Here. Allison Zwicker. Here. Chairman of the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Under Robert's rules, it's my prerogative as chair to appoint a parliamentarian. I'll appoint Chris Schlegel to serve as our parliamentarian. Folks, before we get started on the meeting, let me just say a few things. First of all, I appreciate everyone's attendance today. I know it was a little difficult finding your way here. We hope to avoid that in the future, but we are having our state dinner, as all of you know. So as we begin what I hope can be a efficient meeting, we've got lots to do. A couple of reminders. Address your remarks to the chair so we can have a nice orderly debate. We are going to talk about time limits. We're going to try to keep everybody to about a minute or two, depending on what we're doing. All of you are studying with your materials, and we've had good, robust discussions in the past. We'll do that again, but please keep your remarks today brief as best you can. We'll give everybody a chance to be heard, consistent with Robert's rules. We ask, of course, to maintain the civility that we've been so good about maintaining over the last couple meetings. Please use the microphone as we go through today's discussion. So at this point, our first order of business is to adopt the agenda. You'll find an agenda for today's meeting left side of your red packet. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Frank Reed has made a motion. Do I have a second to adopt the motion? Mike Berger seconds the adoption of the agenda. Is there any discussion on this question? All those in favor of adoption of the agenda say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Next matter of business for us is approval of the minutes. Minutes from our last regularly scheduled meeting are included in your folder. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? A motion by Michelle Schneider. Is there a second? Second from Michelle Anderson. Any discussion on approval of the minutes? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Approving of the minutes. We'll now move into new business. The next item on our agenda is the filling of 2 vacancies on our committee. Vacancies are following District 8 as a result of the passing of our friend, my Hamilton County colleague Barbara Howardell. We continue to mourn, and also in District 20 as a result of the resignation of our colleague Sabrina Warner, who is here. Sabrina, thank you for your service. It's nice of you to be here today. Thank you, Sabrina. In the interest of time, we're going to handle the vacancies as follows, and please bear with us now. We will consider these 2 vacancies together rather than separately. Now we would just take one vote. And we will entertain nominations for the 8th District, and we will consider nominations for the 20th District. After nominations have been closed, we will allow each candidate to address the committee for 2 minutes. We'll ask again that the candidates contain themselves in that 2-minute time frame, and we'll do our best to remind you when that's up. After speeches have been made, we will allow for limited discussion before moving to a vote. Folks, in your packet, you will find green and blue paper. Green and blue paper. And I will help you through this process. So you know, the 8th District will be green, and I will give you the choices once the nominations have closed. And the blue is the 20th. If you want to scribble that in, that might not be a bad idea. On the green one is the 8th, and the blue one will be the 20th. We'll then have everybody cast ballots at the same time, again, just in an interest of keeping this moving along, as we do have to get to our state dinner. So, we begin. With those instructions in mind, we begin and open the floor for nominations for the 8th District. We have become aware that people are prepared to make nominations. I believe Michelle Schneider is recognized for the purpose of making a nomination. Michelle. Let's get your microphone right there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee members. I am honored today to nominate my friend, Diane Cunningham Bennett. We've been friends for over 40 years. I've known her family, her children. Her children actually went to school with my children. And when I was mayor of Madera, we worked on Republican politics together. That was a long time ago. But we haven't stopped. We have worked on countless campaigns together. And both were founders of She Leads, which identifies and mentors Republican women and encourages Republican women to step up and run for political office in all offices, from school board to local races to statewide races. Diane is smart. She's a very hard worker. She goes to everything. It's kind of funny, but she's everywhere. She goes to every single event, every fundraising event locally. She's very organized. She's an excellent communicator. She's trustworthy and works with candidates on their messaging. She really helps people. This is extremely important. She has been enthusiastically recommended by our Hamilton County Chairman. She was appointed by Governor DeWine to serve on the Council on Aging. And she also serves on the Cincinnati and Hamilton County Library and works directly with First Lady Fran DeWine on the Imagination Library. This is her resume. It should be right in front of you. It's very impressive. It's probably better than mine. But I would highly recommend that you vote for Diane Cunningham Brennan. She will make a great member. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle Schneider. I recognize Dave Johnson for the purpose of a second. Chairman Johnson.
Mr. Chairman and fellow members of this committee, I'm very pleased to second the nomination of Diane Cunningham Brennan. She has an exemplary record of service to our party. She's endorsed by the chairman of the Hamilton County Party, which carries a great deal of weight with us when we look at recommendations to this body. And she also happens to be the sister of Bill Cunningham, who's one of the leading conservative talk radio hosts in the country, and certainly in Ohio. I think she will make an outstanding addition to this body. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave Johnson. Are there any, I'm sorry, we do have another nomination for sure. I recognize Lisa Crescimano for purposes of making a nomination. Lisa.
Good morning, everybody. It is my pleasure to nominate Linda Cotto for District 8 in the State Central Committee. Linda is a lifelong Republican. She has worked collaboratively for 10 years with many Republican Party leaders to successfully engage volunteers, impact legislative policy, contribute ideas, and plan effective events. Linda has strong statewide relationships and can efficiently influence outcomes. She is endorsed by many, and due to the time limitations, I won't be able to list them all. I'm sure, and since I prepared this list, I'm sure she's been endorsed by many others. Linda has earned the respect and voter confidence of many people across Ohio, as you can see from her endorsements, which I have not listed. And Bob Paducci approved her to be a Trump delegate for 2024. I find Linda to be dedicated, passionate, and connected. She believes in the party principles and is dedicated to electing Republicans. I feel confident that you will agree that Linda is the most deserving candidate for District 8. Please join me in voting for Linda Cotto.
Thank you, Lisa. I recognize Josh Brown for a second. Josh.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm moving to second for Linda Caudill. I know Linda Caudill because we've talked so much over the years, and I've gotten to know her very well. And Linda is an activist who has always been pushing to help the candidates in the Republican Party, and she's very smart and understands how to do it, and she understands what does and works. And I know that Linda has been successful on multiple campaigns and has just done a fantastic job, especially working with candidates. And what Linda is all about is unity. She wants to bring us all together so that and to do that, she's going to want to talk and communicate effectively with people who are more conservative, people who are less conservative, and everything in the middle. And I think that's really important, especially since as a committee we've taken up some important things this year that have gotten us a lot of attention. And I really believe that Linda not only can help us advance those things, but Linda also can be effective in communicating to the public and communicating why these things that we have done and are doing today are so important. Linda lives in the new district as well, so when redistricting is done, she'll be able to stay in that seat. And I just want to say lastly that I don't know Linda Redden, so my second for Linda Caudill is not negative on Diane. I just don't know her, but I do know Linda Caudill, and I know what a great addition she'll be for this committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh Brown. Do I have any other nominations for the 8th State Central Committee, District 8? Hearing none, we'll move on now to the 20th. And folks, just to remind you, that first series of nominations are going to use green, okay? And now we're going to move to the 20th where we have a vacancy. I'm going to recognize Susie O'Brien for purposes of a nomination.
I am honored to nominate and recommend my friend Angela White, who, for appointment to the State Central Committee. Angela has spent the last 20 years dedicating her time, talent, and treasure to ensure Republican candidates are elected at all levels. She has supported and endorsed. She's supported and endorsed by all 3 county chairmen in the district, which means a lot. And I trust that they know better than anyone the issues that are important to their district and who will best act as their voice on this committee. It's critical that we fill this vacancy with someone who can hit the ground running and has a proven record of leading grassroots efforts and addressing concerns for Republican voters. And I believe Angela is just that person. Angela served two terms on the State Central Committee, so she knows what it takes to foster relationships with other members and to create a strong and united team to defend our conservative values, elect qualified Republicans, and win back the White House in 2024. Please join me in supporting Angela as the next State Central Committee woman for Ohio in 20.
Thank you, Susie O'Brien. I recognize Tony Schrader for the purpose of a second.
I'm pleased, very pleased, to second the nomination of my friend Angela White for this position. I first met Angela, ironically enough, before either of us were on the committee, on the campaign trail, which is where you would often find her, on the campaign trail, just as I was at the time working with some other people. She's done great service to Republicans in her area of Ohio, and most importantly, being as a county chair, she's got the unanimous recommendation in the 3 counties in her district, which I think, as part of our process, carries a long way. So I'm pleased to second her nomination for the State Central Committee moving forward to 2020.
Thank you. I know we have another nomination. I recognize Lauren Bowen from Hamilton County for a nomination. Lauren.
Hi there, good morning. I have to first say that I do love Angela very much. You know, she is a very fun-loving personality, and we spend a lot of time together as young Republicans here at the state party and have lots of fun times and very fond memories. But I'm here today, however, to support someone for the 20th District who is about the people of Ohio, Carrie Masterson, and not the political elites and our own self-contained version of the Buckeye Swamp. All too often, cronies and insiders make their way onto this board, only to glorify the freedom-suffocating actions of the people across the street and help protect their jobs when they don't deserve to have their jobs be protected. I most admire Carrie because she fought tooth and nail for an impressive levy in Granville. That must seem so small and not significant, but that's just it. Carrie has shown quiet leadership, that she cares about limiting government and returning power to the hands of the people. This quiet leadership and caring about the small things, being faithful and humble, is how we do the hard and mighty work of this committee. And that is why Carrie is perfect for this role, an outsider breath of freedom-loving fresh air. I urge you to edify the people of Ohio today by supporting Carrie.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I stand to second the nomination of Carrie Masterson, and I want to thank those who gave me 2 talents to cast my vote today. Obviously, in clerical error, I won't be casting one ballot. So I'll give this one back right now. So there's no confusion. I rise to second the nomination, and on a very serious note, on a very important and positive note, I feel. In January, we had a contentious issue, but this committee overwhelmingly voted to censure members of the General Assembly who voted in violation of a policy we're going to hopefully pass here today on the agenda, F2 on the agenda coming up at the end of the meeting. I believe that the vote of Masterson is required in order to mean what we said in January and to mean what we're about to say at the end of this meeting. When the election for the Speaker occurred and 22 Republicans worked with all 32 Democrats in the Ohio House to put and make an existential attack on the strength of the Republican Party and the Republican majority. They did so with the help of 2 state legislators who lived in the district, and those legislators and that Speaker were celebrated by Mrs. White, which I think is, at this point in time, should be a forfeiting, should keep us from supporting that appointment because it undermines what we as a State Central Committee say is very important. We believe that the Senate President and the House Speaker should be elected by a majority of Republicans in a private caucus and carried out of the floor. We should back that up with the people. When we have an opportunity with our votes here, we should back that up with our votes by appointing a person who agrees with that and appointing a person who hasn't contradicted that with their public statements in the past. Chairman, I know that that's not the friendliest route. I think in the nomination of Ms. Masterson, her qualifications were demonstrated, but I think it's important for the integrity of this committee to demonstrate some consistency through our voting actions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Do I hear any additional nominations for the 20th Senate District? Hearing none, I'll close nominations. At this point, as we indicated, we'll give each candidate who's been nominated 2 minutes to address you. We'll do so in the order in which they were nominated. We begin first with the 8th Senate District, Diane Cunningham-Redden. The floor is yours. Come on. Can we get Diane a mic? Do you want to do it here?
Good morning, and thank you, Chairman Alex. My name is Diane Cunningham-Redden, and I ask for your vote for the State Central Committee District 8 appointment. Our mandate is to elect Republicans and raise money, locally, statewide, and nationally. I've worked over a decade as the chairwoman of the Hamilton County Republican Party, appointed by Alex Transfield when he was our county chair. I also serve as president and founding board member of She Leads, which identifies, mentors, and supports Republican women to run for public office and to serve on boards and commissions. She Leads encourages and mentors women to run for all positions from school board, local, and state level races. I was honored to be an alternate for President Trump at the 2020 RNC convention in Charlotte, which was canceled, of course, because of COVID. I will be a delegate for President Trump in Milwaukee at the 2024 convention. I was appointed by Governor Mike DeWine to serve 2 terms on the Ohio Council for Aging as a patient advocate. I'm an NRA lifetime member and proud member of Ohio and Cincinnati Right to Life. Russell Mock, the Hamilton County Chairman, has recommended my appointment. To quote Chairman Mock, Diane Cunningham-Redden is the best qualified person to represent our district, and I can confidently attest to her dedication, leadership, and commitment to the Republican Party. I'm a well-known hard worker for the Republican Party in Hamilton County. I volunteer for dozens of campaigns and attend fundraisers, picnics, and every other Republican event. I can be counted upon to be organized and energetic to bring our candidates to victory. You all have a copy of my resume in front of you. I will be honored to represent my district at the state level now and humbly ask for your support. Thank you.
Next nominee that we hear from is Linda Caudill. Linda, come on.
Thank you, Chairman Alex. Thank you, members, and thank you to Lisa and Josh for nominating me today. My very, very close friend, Barbara Hallwoodell, passed away. We were very close. We talked every day, and I'm here because I want to continue her legacy with what she tried to do in the short period of time she was here. Barbara and I agreed almost 100%, except that I supported Alex for the chairmanship. Other than that, Barbara and I were completely aligned on everything. I will tell you that a lot of people here who are members I've been friends with for 5 to 10 years. I've known Alex for 15 years. I have helped 7 races members. I've helped endorse for you, fundraise for you, promoted you on social media, and I'll continue to do that to help the members here to win their races. I travel around the state, probably not as much as Alex or as much as Gary does. I run into Gary at a lot of events. I run into Jessica at events and the Warners. I think it's important to be an ambassador for the Republican Party, not just in your your own community, but statewide. I've also traveled to DC with various different groups. I have a very good friend in Columbus, Don Roberts, and he and I have gone to DC several times. This summer, I was there with Lisa Woods from Medina County, and we met up with a PAC in DC. And because of my relationship with this PAC, I was able to get 54 Ohio candidates for 2024 endorsed. I am a resource for a lot of candidates. When candidates want to run anywhere in Ohio, I get a phone call because they respect my opinion and they want my help. Right now, I'm working on 3 congressional races in Ohio that I hope to win. I will work with all of you. I want to hear what you have to say. I will listen to you. I hope that you will listen to me also. And I hope that I can have your vote. Thank you.
You're going to vote the green paper on that one. Okay, green. Remember that. All right, so next up is the nominee, Angela White. Angela, come on up.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, members of the committee, for being here today. The number one thing when I was a committee member, it's often a very thankless job. So I appreciate all of your time and your dedication to our party and ensuring that we're electing conservatives across the state and hopefully back to the White House. As our friend earlier said, I too am a delegate for Donald Trump, and I look forward to standing with the Ohio delegation in Milwaukee and confirming all of our votes for Donald Trump for 2024 so we can win back the White House. There's been a lot of conversation with a lot of you over the last few weeks. It's been an honor to talk to you, work through some of our differences, and really understand the items that are important to your districts, as well as the district of the Senate District of Ohio 20. I've had the distinguished honor and I'm humbled by the support from across our district. All 3 county chairmen have backed my campaign to be the appointee for today, as well as our congressman, as well as our Senator Tim Schaefer. In your packets today, you'll also see a letter from my own county party that includes the recommendation of all of our county-wide elected officials, as well as leadership. That's important to know, because these are the individuals that know how we are going to win campaigns in Fairfield County, in Perry County, and Licking County. It is those voters who are going to help us offset the deficit in the 3 Cs. We've got to make sure that we are able to beat in our counties with exceedingly large margins so we can combat those blue counties. I've done that, I've proven that, and I plan to do that again in 2024 so we can unite this party, win the White House, beat Sherrod Brown, and send back a majority to our Congress and to our State House. So with that, I hope you've had an opportunity to read all of the nominations and information about me. I hope we've had an opportunity to chat over the last few weeks to answer your questions, and I ask for your support for this vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela White. Our final nominee is Carrie Masterson. Carrie, come on up. Any fans of Homeland? I want to say Carrie Masterson, but that's you've heard that before, I'm sure. Carrie Masterson.
Thank you, Chairman Alex, and all these many members. Thank you, Lauren, for the kind words. My name is Carrie Masterson, and as Lauren said, I'm seeking the appointment to represent Republicans in the 20th State Central Committee District. I am running for this seat because I believe in our mission. I know the impact that conservative Republican leadership has at all levels of government. We've seen in the last decade what conservative leadership can bring to states like Ohio, while we can also see what happens in states like California and New York when the party does not get the job done. I want to be an advocate for elected officials, party leaders, and grassroots activists in the 20th District, and I want to be an ambassador for the state party to Licking, Fairfield, and Perry County. I know we have so much more to achieve, beginning with a historic election next year, and I'm looking to do my part to keep Ohio red and continue electing strong Republicans at the local, state, and federal levels. To recap my email and resume that I shared with you all, I have been involved in Republican politics since 1991 when I first volunteered for Judge Marcel Lane in Licking County. Excuse me. We have seen division in our party at the national, state, and local levels. While we should all stay true to our core values and principles, we must stay unified in our approach to avoid this divisiveness. Our license plates used to have a motto that said, Ohio, the heart of it all. Ohio is positioned geographically as the heart of our United States. As we all know, Ohio's electoral heartbeat is critical to every election. With massive outside money being spent in Ohio's elections, we cannot afford to be divided and distracted from our core purpose. Otherwise, the heartbeat of the Republican Party will die in our elections. I applaud the recent efforts in passing a resolution to hold our elected officials responsible to the Republican Party. I promise to uphold my responsibility in fulfilling my duties should you give me that opportunity. I want to thank Angela for her service to our community and to the Republican Party. We respectfully disagree with regard to the decisions of a minority of the Republican legislators at the State House. I strongly agree with the actions of this body to censure those who empower Democrats. We have seen the damage that disunity has caused at both the state and federal levels this year. I'm running to be a voice for unity behind a strong Republican agenda. And I'd like to clarify something that was brought to my attention yesterday. I guess one of my opponent's surrogates said that I only became involved in politics this year. The first campaign that I worked on was in 1991, and if my math is correct, my opponent would have been 11 years old at the time. I then worked for that judge and another judge at the Licking County Courthouse for over a decade. In fact, I even like to take credit for now Court of Appeals Judge Baldwin switching to become a Republican prior to running for office. Sadly, judges cannot endorse these races. In closing, I thank each of you who made time for me. I thank everyone who supports me. If you appoint me, I promise to give you my best. Recently, when meeting with State Representative Doug Flaggett, we were discussing the act of public service to our country, our state, our community, our Republican Party, and to our fellow man. Carrying out the duties of these positions isn't always personally successful, and it can be very trying. But it is a patriotic duty. God termed it best as a joyful duty, and I like that. I ask for your support. I will fulfill the duty joyfully. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right, having heard the speeches from our four nominees, I will open the floor for a brief discussion. Again, I ask you to keep your remarks aimed at the chair and to keep them brief. Anyone wishing to speak to the nominations or the nominees before we begin casting votes? All right, inquiry for Justice Frank. Yeah, if we can reasonably discern the names, so the four first names are discernible enough that we can make that, we'll make forward that. So, any additional discussion on the nominations? Hearing none, we move to the ballot. So, folks, we're going to begin again with the green ballots being for the 8th. Your choices on the green ballot are Diane Cunningham-Redd and Linda Caudill. On the blue ballot, your choices are Angela White and Carrie Masterson. So please begin writing down your votes. You can fold it closed. And then the people online can vote ballot at Ohio GOP convention. Yeah, if each candidate would like to appoint someone to observe the count, maybe you can take a moment now and decide who you would like to observe the vote counting. And if you are going to observe the vote counting, over here and stand by this former United States Marine Dan Lush.
Yes, absolutely. I got the box, I got there's a lot of questions.
That's wrong. You better walk. It would be so much better for us and Virginia. Okay, I thought it was West Virginia.
How you doing?
I'm so
reveal and make it public. The other thing is, I think ballot access can still. Like the time. Hi, Greg Williams.
I was there.
Yeah, right. I know the name well.
Back in the day, I know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the committee, please grab a seat so we can resume our meeting.
Actually,
Again,
I literally just got my card today.
They're like,
I can now start spending money on the campaign. I'm like, okay. I was like, get some cards at the same time.
Ladies and gentlemen of the committee, please. We're calling this meeting back to order. Calling our meeting back to order. In the voting, we do not have a clear majority, which is required under the permanent rules in the District 8 race. So the majority has not been attained in that race, so we must revote in District 8. I'm going to give each candidate a minute to address you. Before you now will vote on a white index card. You'll now vote on your white index card. Your choices will be Diane Redden, Linda Caudill. Diane, the floor is yours for order.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to point out that the rules of the Central Committee recommend that with the endorsement of the local party chair, the person that knows the candidate best, the vote should go to that person. I was enthusiastically recommended by our chairman, Russell Bond. Secondly, with the redistricting in Hamilton County, I am going to be in a different Senate district, so I will not be of opposition in March. I've already filed for that position. By appointing my opponent, she will be put in a position to run as an incumbent against Michelle Snyder, who is a long-standing Central Committee member, as Michelle is now redistricted into 8. So please reconsider your votes. I also knew Barbara Howdell. Hamilton County is not that big of a county. Barbara and I both lived in Madeira, so we would see each other often at events. It was an untimely passing taken too soon. But I want to point out that I believe I am the best candidate for this position. Thank you.
As Diane pointed out, I am in District 8. I will be in District 8 next year. I have already filed for it. I think it's inappropriate to appoint someone to this position who will only be in this seat for a month. Russell Mock had given me his word on multiple occasions, and I told some of you in the conversations that he was going to nominate both of us. About 10 days ago, he made the decision not to do it because he wanted to support a placeholder for Michelle. This race has to be run on its own. I need to stand here and tell you I am going to be in District 8. I will be in District 8 next year. Also, I know this committee went to a great extent to do a censure on the Blue 22. And my opponent, as well as my opponent in March, both shut down the censure in Hamilton County, which wholeheartedly, most of you went along with that. I think it's wrong to team up with Democrats. I do support that the Blue 22 needed some sort of censure of some sort. So I would like for you to continue to vote for me. I will be the conservative. I will tell you, Barbara Hallwood would not support my opponent having this seat. I have such in a text message from Barbara. She fully wanted me to continue the work that she did on this committee. Thank you.
The last vote, the colored paper, proved to be a little bit of a challenge. Not for 99% of you, but now you only just have one. You want two choices. White index card. It's Diane Redden or Linda Caudill. Diane Redden or Linda Caudill, white index card. We would ask you to please cast your ballot, write in your name, fold it shut. Young Mitchell here will come by and grab, let you slide your ballot into the box. Thank you. For people online, you can cast your ballot again, please. Ballot at ohiogop.org. If you're tuned in by phone, again, you can vote online by emailing your choice to ballot at ohiogop.org. Terry, please step forward and take the oath. Terry, do you have someone to hold the Bible? Pick someone, anyone you like. It strikes me, folks, that we should just take a moment to remember our friend Barbara Hollidell. I probably should have done that at the beginning. Thanks to my friend Senator Cates. Let's just take one moment to remember our fallen colleague. Thank you all very much. I ask you both to, you want to do that? You want to do the honors? Greek Orthodox, that makes it special. If you'll both raise your right hand, please. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, that I will obey the rules and bylaws of the Republican National Committee and the rules and bylaws of the Republican State Central and Executive Committee of Ohio, and I will faithfully perform the duties as a member of the State Central Committee of my district to the best of my ability, so help me God. Congratulations to you both. You may both thank you to the candidates for that spirited contest, and we will now ask those who are seated to find your way. Diane, you're in the 8th and the 20th, I don't know where the numbers are, but both new members are welcome to be seated with the rest of their new colleagues here on the State Central Committee. Again, congratulations and welcome. Pivoting, I thought frankly we were moving along. We're going to continue to move. We do have a state dinner tonight. We're going to move to the next item on the agenda, which is an endorsement. Our next order of business is the consideration of an endorsement for the race for President of the United States. Members of the committee, this is a significant decision for this body to make. I believe it to be a very important one. Given the state of the primary race and all the things that we've watched happen here, it made sense after talking with so many of you to bring this important question of whether or not we support President Donald J. Trump to this body. We must, if we're going to endorse in this race, take 2 votes. Under Article 6, Section 2A, we must first take a vote to endorse at all, and then the second vote will be who we endorse. So we are clear there will be 2 votes. We'll begin tonight, a little early. I recognize Tony Schrader for the purpose of making a motion to consider endorsement. Chairman Schrader.
Thank you, Chairman. It's a great pleasure for me to make this motion as the chairman of Donald Trump's best county in Ohio twice, and I'm looking at my good friend from Mercer County, Stephanie, who unfortunately came in second in that in both situations. Yeah. It's more critical than ever that we are united behind our candidate for the presidency. We are in a situation in this country where if we do not succeed in 2024 and winning back the White House, we're going to have decades of trying to recover from the damage that's going to be done. We need a leader who's going to be able to carry not only conservative Ohio, but suburban Ohio, and to reach out to other people in this state that are not part of the Republican coalition already. Donald J. Trump has proven the ability to do that. His overwhelming victory in Ohio the last 2 general election cycles has prepared him for a 3-peat in Ohio, and it's a great honor for me to offer this resolution to consider an endorsement for the next President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Thank you, Chairman Schrader. Melanie Lenahan, you have a second for us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It is with great joy that I humbly second the motion to to consider the endorsement of the greatest president of the United States in modern era, the only man who can restore the rule of law in our republic, and the only man that will bring peace to the world, President Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States of America.
Any discussion on the first question before us, and that is the question of endorsement? Hearing no discussion. Oh, now we do have discussion. Yes, Lisa.
All I have to say is when I ran to be on the State Central Committee, a lot of my constituents did not like the idea of endorsements during a primary. I pledged to my constituents that I would not endorse during a primary, and I know there are some people in this room who also did the same thing. So I just want to remind those people that we did, some of us did tell our constituents we would not.
Thank you, Lisa. Further discussion on the current motion that's on the floor. Mike Whitty.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm a staunch supporter of Donald Trump, and I believe he's the right candidate, and I believe that he will win Ohio. However, believe that endorsing in a primary by the party is inappropriate. It makes a mockery of the primary process, and I believe that Donald Trump will win Ohio handily without our endorsement. So I urge that we consider that the constituents have the right to have their voices heard in the primary, and that we should not be putting them on excuses. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike Whitty. If you want to be heard, please raise your hand. I saw Gloria had her hand up. We'll go to Gloria, then we're going to come to Debbie Lang. Go ahead, Gloria. Sorry. Debbie, I'm sorry. Gloria was up first, then you'll be up second. Sorry. Gloria, go ahead, and then we'll go to Debbie Lang after that.
Mr. Chairman, I think it is completely appropriate that we all stand today and endorse our President Donald Trump. We are in a unique time. Our president is getting attacked. We are getting attacked. We need to be unified. And for all of you who made promises to your committee people, the promise should be made to our president. And to support our president in this time of need, we need to be at the forefront and be the first state in this great country to endorse our president. Let our Republican Party be at the forefront to winning in 2024. Thank you.
Thank you. Recognizing Debbie Lang. Debbie, go ahead. Discussion on the motion.
I totally agree with you, and I also believe that there's exceptions to every rule. I am typically against endorsing in a primary as well, but in this case, I feel that we have no choice, and we have to support our president. And it will be such an honor for Ohio to be the first people to endorse Trump as well. He's already proven what a great president that he can be. He's already had past experience, which is another thing that I wholeheartedly think that we should have in the White House so that there's no delay in getting those policies and procedures done. So I would just encourage you to think about exceptions to every rule and stand and do what's the right thing to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Any further exceptions? Any further discussion? National flag. Go ahead.
Certainly, I understand that, in the past we haven't made no endorsements, but I think, we're at a critical point in time, and it's time now for Ohioans, especially the Ohio State Central Committee, to show some heart, to show some tenacity, and it's time now for us not to remain silent, but it's time for us to blow the trumpet and let the entire United States realize that here in Ohio, we're not scared to make no decisions. We're here to make hard decisions, and it's the right thing for us to do right now in endorsing President Donald J. Trump. Right now, we're at a crossroad, but you cannot play it safe. Playing it safe won't get you nothing but to lose. And I don't know about you, but I'm tired of losing, and I'm tired of us being made a mockery. I'm tired of us bowing down to the left. I'm tired of us bowing down to the progressives. I'm tired of us bowing down to the communists and the other party that never wants to show us no compassion. And even though they reach a hand out to reach across the aisle is a hand on the backside, because at the end of the day, we're the ones getting played. So it's time out now for us to get played, stand together, stick together on one accord in unity, and make this endorsement loud and clear across the United States of America.
Let's applaud when it's over. We can keep it moving. How's that sound? I'm just trying to keep us moving along. Chairman Rosenberger, go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman Triantafilo. In exactly 2015, the Trump campaign approached me to run the Trump campaign out of Clark County. I literally ran that campaign with 2 county party members, my husband and one other. And the Trump campaign ran out of my house and my garage, all 12,000 yards away. And that was because this body did not endorse Trump. This body did not endorse Trump until September of 2020. And that was when my colleague Mark Bainbridge and I proposed a resolution to finally endorse Trump. The point I'm trying to make is that our endorsement filters down to the county level, and the counties will follow suit. We must win our counties for Trump. Whether your position is for endorsements or not endorsements, we must win at the county level, and the counties will be looking at us for that leadership. I did not have that leadership coming out of my county in 2015, 2016, and so forth until 2020 when we finally endorsed Trump. So we need to do this today. We need to do it for our counties. As a county party chairman, I strongly endorse Trump today. Thank you.
Next, any current motion, which is what we should endorse. Hearing none, all in favor of moving forward with endorsement, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next question then is whether or not we endorse Donald J. Trump for President of the United States for purposes of a motion. I'll recognize Michelle Schneider.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman and fellow committee members, I rise today to ask for your endorsement for President Donald J. Trump by the Ohio State Central Committee for the presidential election of 2024. President Trump's record of accomplishments in his short 4 years serving our country is so long, it's hard to even imagine saying it in 2 minutes. But I'm going to hit the top ones just real quick. He had our America had an unprecedented economic boom, 7 million new jobs. He brought tax relief to the middle class. He signed the tax cuts about the largest tax reform package in the United States history. He cut business tax rates by 35 to 21%, and approximately 1 million Americans were lifted out of poverty. This is my favorite one, massive deregulation. He eliminated 8 old regulations for every 1 new regulation. And this is the best. He removed 25,000 pages from the Federal Register. No other president had done that. He has a fair and reciprocal trade agreements, withdrew from the job-killing TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership. He ended NAFTA and replaced it with the new Mexican-Canadian agreement. And he had an executive order making government policy to buy American and hire Americans. He created energy independence, which I know all of us agree with. He opened the pipeline, and for the first time in history, we were a net exporter of energy. He had life-saving response to the China virus with his program of strike, was it the strike force? Or, I can't remember the name of it. What was it? Rapid force? Anyway, he saved millions and millions of lives. It's time for Republicans to unite at the top of the ticket. He won Ohio by large margins in 2016 and 2020. He's extremely popular with Republicans today. Let's come together today and endorse Donald J. Trump to make America great again. Thank you.
I'll go to Howard County Chairman, State Central Committee Member, Chairman Keith Cheney for the second.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, my fellow committeemen. Donald Trump did not forget Ohio when he became president, and it's time for us not to forget Donald Trump. I come from the home of Jim Jordan. Congressman Jordan, to this day, he and I speak frequently, and Donald Trump never ever stopped communicating. He's concerned about what's happening not only in our nation, but here in Ohio. You know, there was an old adage one time in the debate when the guy looked at the other and said, I know Donald Trump, I know his two sons, and he believes in what you and I believe in as Americans and as Ohioans. I strongly encourage us to send a message to the United States of America and the guy who's sitting on Pennsylvania Avenue now that Ohio is Donald J. Trump.
There's a motion and a second to endorse Donald J. Trump for President of the United States. Discussion. There's a second already. Thank you, Pastor. Further discussion. We'll start with Josh Brown. If you want to be recognized, just wave your hand. I'll call on you next. Josh Brown.
Thank you, Chairman. So when I was a child, I grew up in a little town called Bowersville, and my dad was in the manufacturing business. He was a tool maker who made plastic parts for companies like GM. And I grew up hearing every night, the Chinese are selling products below my cost. And as I got older, I started to realize why. It's because politicians in Washington, D.C. sold out manufacturing and agriculture in this country. They sold us out for money, for little positions and corporate boards and whatever else. So I got into politics with one goal, and that was to help do something about what these politicians have done to our manufacturing and agricultural industries. Those are still the two biggest industries in Ohio. 37% is steel manufacturing to this day. You wouldn't know that if you live in the suburb because they benefit from the work of the agriculture and all their stuff comes to manufacturing, but they're rich and they don't understand that they would not be rich and they wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for middle-class farmers, middle-class manufacturers. And in the modern history of America, no man has ever done more for manufacturing and agriculture and for the middle class than Donald Trump. And that's why I stand today very passionately to tell you, we need to do everything we can to support him because, to me, being a comic book fan, 2016 was like Star Wars. We had a hero come in and save the day. 2020 was The Empire Strikes Back. And they struck back by abusing our legal system, by abusing the media system, lying to us and cheating. But 2024 is Return of the Jedi. Return Donald Trump. And we're going to win. It'll be Donald Trump and nobody else because he has done more, sacrificed more than anybody. He's our man, and I'm behind him. Thank you.
Discussion, any additional hands? We'll move to a vote. All in favor of endorsing Donald J. Trump for president in 2024, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Congratulations. Let's move things along, folks. What's left on our agenda here, some of it we will I believe, frankly, it requires executive session. We're going to have some internal communications. I know there are members of the press and others here. At this point, we're not a public body, as we know, so we can move into executive session at any point. I would at this point, take a motion that we move into executive session. Do I have a motion? Greg Simpson has made a motion to move into executive session. Do I have a second? Laura Rosenberger has seconded a motion to move into executive session. Any discussion on that motion? All in favor of moving into executive session, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, at this point, if you're not a member of the State Central Committee,
Okay. Get this set up here. All right, everyone, we are here at the Ohio Republican Party State Central Committee meeting. They just went into executive session, so I am not allowed in the room as a bystander, as someone not on the committee. But I am glad to announce that the Ohio GOP has officially endorsed President Trump for re-election in 2024 in the primary. Now, they don't usually endorse in primary, so this is an odd situation, but they have endorsed President Trump, and we will return coverage if they do come out of executive session and open it up to the public. But until then, we're going to go to this return soon, go get a bite to eat. We'll be back as soon as they are.